Commanders are making a move at quarterback as Jacoby Brissett has just been named the starting QB for the Washington Commanders by head coach Ron Rivera just moments ago. He's going to be getting the start this week against the San Francisco 49ers. Ron Rivera did not say if Jacoby would for sure be getting the start for the next 2 weeks, but for this week's matchup against the San Francisco 49ers, the ball is Brissett's. We're going to be breaking down what this means for Sam Howell, what this means for Brissett's future here in Washington in just a second. But first, this is why you subscribe to the channel, guys. Breaking news coverage for the Washington Commanders. We're going to be having a bunch of breaking news this offseason. When Ron Rivera gets fired, when they hire a new head coach, if they get a new quarterback, they're going to be doing a lot of stuff in free agency with all the cap space that they have. It's going to be a very busy offseason. And if you want to stay up to date on all the latest moves made by the Washington Commanders, make sure you join our family now and click that subscribe button. So Jacoby Brissett is going to be starting this week. And my first reaction to this is that this is officially the end for Sam Howell, at least as the starting quarterback here with the Washington Commanders. Now, Ron Rivera was talking a lot of bullshit about how this isn't the end for Sam Howell and he still believes in him and all this different stuff. But let me tell you, man, that's just a bunch of hooey right there, all right? They would be starting him for the final 2 games of this season if they really believed in his future as the starting quarterback. And if it wasn't set in stone before, it is now, okay? Sam Howell, I do not believe will be the starting quarterback for the Washington Commanders next season. I think next offseason, you look at having a top 3 pick as it currently stands right now. You're definitely in position to get a top quarterback prospect in next year's NFL draft, along with some very interesting possibilities to potentially trade for a guy like Kyler Murray. Russell Wilson looks like he could be available as well. Not saying the Commanders should go get Russell Wilson, but there's definitely some interesting possibilities for Washington to go get a new quarterback next year. And with Sam Howell being benched, with the playoffs completely in the rearview mirror at this point, it's definitely telling us that the Commanders do not believe in his future moving forward. And to be honest with you, I'm a little bit surprised that Ron Rivera actually pulled this trigger because, Sam Howell is the younger quarterback. He is the guy that's under contract with this team next year, and he's really the only guy that really had a shot, in my opinion, to be the franchise option moving forward. But going with Jacoby Brissett, that tells me 2 things. They want to win. Ron Rivera wants to potentially get a couple wins for this team here and maybe make Eric Bieniemy's job search for another offensive coordinator or head coaching position a bit easier with this offense performing more smoothly. But also it tells me that they just don't believe in Sam Howell as a starting quarterback option for them moving forward. So what say you? Is Ron Rivera, the head coach, making the right decision here by benching Sam Howell and starting Jacoby Brissett this week against the San Francisco 49ers? Give me a yes or no for today's pinned comment. The pinned comment is right up there at the top of the comment section. So when you get a second here, YouTube's going to throw you an ad break. Just do me a favor. Give me a yes or no down there in the comment section. All right, so I'm pretty excited to see what Jacoby Brissett is going to be able to do definitely this week, but probably over the next 2 weeks to finish out this 2023 campaign. And it definitely provides a little bit of a spark here towards the end of this season, which over the last 4 or 5 weeks has been extremely stale. I mean, we know the Commanders aren't going to make the playoffs, so it's going to be interesting to see what Jacoby Brissett can do, because over the last 2 weeks, when he's been asked to come in for Sam Howell, he's been straight up fantastic, man. He's been arguably the most productive quarterback in the National Football League through the 5 drives that he's had in a Commanders uniform where he's had a pass attempt. You look at the stat comparison here. I mean, Jacoby Brissett almost completing 80% of his passes in Eric Bieniemy's offense to this point. He's moving the football a lot more efficiently than Sam Howell has all season long. The touchdown percentage is at a whopping 13% compared to Sam Howell's 3.4. And then, of course, he hasn't thrown an interception so far, which is a lot better than the interception percentage for Sam Howell. The quarterback rating is through the roof because Jacoby Brissett has just plain and simply played some incredible football here over these last 2 weeks, even against the Jets defense last week that's ranked as one of the best in football. So you're going up against the San Francisco 49ers this week, which is going to be a test for him. We'll go over that in just a second. But last year even, Jacoby Brissett, I think, was a very good starter for the Cleveland Browns when Deshaun Watson was serving his suspension. I think that, statistically speaking, at least, Jacoby was a better quarterback than Deshaun was last year with a 64% completion percentage, 12 touchdowns to just 6 interceptions, and a pretty decent grade there at 86.2, which was top 15 in the National Football League for the 2022 season. So he's definitely getting thrown right into the fire here because he's going up against one of the best defenses in the National Football League in the San Francisco 49ers. And if that's not enough, I mean, the 49ers are pissed coming off of that loss against the Baltimore Ravens last week. So you're going to be getting a unit that's very talented and that's very, very motivated to kick the living shit out of the Washington Commanders this weekend. You look at the defensive stats this year, top 10 in most defensive categories. They turn the ball over. They get after the quarterback. Of course, Chase Young is going to be playing against his former team this weekend. Nick Bosa is clearly one of the best in the world at what he does on the edge there. So it's definitely not going to be easy for whoever is going to be quarterbacking the Washington Commanders this week. It looks like it's going to be Jacoby Brissett here against the 49ers. But I do think Brissett gives them the best chance to win this football game. And, I really don't think that there's anything to lose for Jacoby Brissett at this point, right? If he continues to play well, he's going to solidify himself as a potential starter for an NFL team next year, including the Washington Commanders. And at this point, after the benching of Sam Howell, I actually think Jacoby Brissett has a better shot than Sam Howell to be the team's starting quarterback in 2024 than Sam Howell does. But, the question remains, is that really a good idea for the Washington Commanders? Could Jacoby Brissett be back with the team in 2024? We're going to be discussing that possibility right here on the Commanders Report in just a second. But first, let's talk about our friends at Fanatics, and they're currently offering you guys a fantastic deal on an awesome t-shirt combo. So let's say you got some Christmas money left over from Christmas, and you're looking to expand your game day wardrobe for the Washington Commanders. I really love the designs here from Fanatics. It's a 2-for-1 deal essentially. You can go to chatsports.com/CommandersX2 to get your hands on this awesome short sleeve with the burgundy, long sleeve with the white. I really like the combo here. It's perfect for any time of the year. So if you're a Commanders fan, need some more Commanders gear to kind of fill out your wardrobe, go to chatsports.com/CommandersX2 to get your hands on this t-shirt combo from our friends at Fanatics today. So let's discuss this possibility here of potentially bringing back Jacoby Brissett as a potential starting quarterback for this team in 2024 if he continues to play well for the rest of the season, because he's been lighting it up under Eric Bieniemy, the offensive coordinator, so far this season. And I'm actually not opposed to this idea, but it's definitely going to have to come with some exceptions. If he's going to be signing here next year, I think it's got to be for a team-friendly deal. I think he's going to have to be more of a bridge quarterback who's developing or helping develop and helping to mentor a rookie quarterback that they draft in the first round of the 2024 NFL Draft. I also think if we're going to be bringing back Brissett, I think it also would potentially make sense to bring back Eric Bieniemy. No, I think that's unlikely. I think if the Commanders really saw Eric Bieniemy as a true head coaching candidate, he would be getting a shot to prove himself as the interim right now, and they would have already fired Ron Rivera, but they haven't done that so far. So I think it's more than likely that Eric Bieniemy is going to be going elsewhere. So with a different offensive coordinator, do you really want to be bringing in Jacoby Brissett as a potential starter? It's definitely up in the air, so let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. What are the odds and the percent chance that Jacoby Brissett is the starting quarterback for the Washington Commanders week 1 of the 2024 season? Put it on a scale of 0 to 100 for me down there in the comments section. For me, my answer is 10%, and that's a pretty low percentage. I don't think it's impossible, especially if he can pull out a win or two here to finish out the season, continue to play well. But overall, I think there's just too many things that need to happen that I just don't necessarily see happening at this point. First, he needs to play well over the next 2 weeks. If he struggles against San Francisco and then against Dallas in Week 18, it's not looking good for his prospects to be a starter in 2024 with pretty much any NFL franchise. Number 2, he needs to decide to come back. If he plays well, he's probably going to be looking to be a starter somewhere. And will that be with the Commanders? It's kind of up to him because he's a free agent next offseason. And then also he needs to win the starting job over a potential rookie that the Commanders draft in the 2024 NFL Draft. Don't really see all 3 of these things happening. I can't say it's impossible, so I'll give him a 10% shot here. He has played extremely well in the limited action he's had this season, but I definitely don't see him coming back as the starting quarterback for the Commanders come next season. All right, that's going to be it for today's breaking news edition of the Commanders Report. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me here to the end of today's show. Make sure you click that subscribe button so you never miss any more breaking news videos right here on the channel.